I was just parked up on the side road opposite the park because I wanted to go for a walk. It's a 1 hour car park. I parked legally, have a registered vehicle, and was going for a walk. As we were wandering back down past the car, a AFP car pulled up with 3 officers in it. One of them came over and very aggressively started to speak to me about that was to move my vehicle on. I said, why? It's a registered vehicle, it's legally parked. I haven't been there for 1 hour, it's only been about 5 minutes.
Yep.
And he said, I'm not going to bore you with the law I'm using, but sufficient to say if you don't remove your vehicle, we will tow it and we will arrest you.
Wow.
So I asked him for his name. He wouldn't give me his name. He only gave me his number. I got the numbers of his 2 friends. I told him they were acting illegally. I have a registered vehicle. I'm in a legally parking zone, and you don't have any right. He said, the NCA and the Parliamentary Circle have removed my tacit approval for me to protest.
You've removed your
they've removed their tacit approval for me to protest.
Okay.
As if the NCA and the Parliamentary Circle have the right, have the authority, have the jurisdiction to stop my legal right in this nation to have peaceful protests. And so I warned all 3 of them that I would actually take legal action against them.
Fair enough.
They laughed at me. They thought that was a joke. Later, a couple of us were talking to the gentleman. He was much calmer because I'd gone up and talked to his senior officer.
Yep.
When he saw me do that, he rang the senior officer to break off the conversation, then went up and put his 2 bobs worth in. And then he's talking to these people from the group, and he said the only reason he acted aggressively with me was that I was aggressive to him.
Oh, okay.
I was aggressive to him because I asked him a question about what law that he was operating under to issue me with a move-on notice when I was legally parked. And so, anyhow, that's apparently aggressive. And he said, I don't care anyhow. There have been complaints put in about many of us, and none of them have been upheld.
No, that's right.
We know that because the complaints people have acted illegally by not doing their job of following through on complaints. I personally put in a complaint against a senior officer, David Kraft. I didn't know his name at the time, and I had 5 distinct things that I was unhappy with his professional performance, and 5 things. I put it in about just after 4 o'clock one afternoon, and before 9 o'clock the next morning, I had a reply from the complaints people to say that there is no case to answer for.
Okay.
In fact, it was the same identical email that I know at least 10 other people got who put in separate complaints about separate things at that one event.
So they're just basically ignoring any complaint that's coming back.
And I always wondered why the police seemed at such liberty and so free to break the law and flout our legal rights in front of numerous cameras. And they're doing it because the police, so-called integrity committee, that's supposed to keep them on the straight and narrow, refuse to do anything about it. So we are now actually going to take matters in our own hands. We have put the complaints through to the complaints person, got the bullshit reply, which we can prove is bullshit. When you issue the same email back and don't cover any of the issues, then that's bullshit as far as I'm concerned.
So now you take a civil case.
We don't make it civil. We actually have the right to lay criminal charges against police officers for assault, for armed robbery, for a number of other things, and we will be going through that process in the next few weeks. If you've been in Canberra and you have footage about police acting illegally, acting aggressively against peaceful protests, then I encourage you to get in contact with someone in Canberra you know, and let's get all the footage together. We're going to put together footage, and we're going to swear out warrants against these police officers individually for each case. Because unless we do this, the government aren't doing it. The government are quite happy for the police to act as their bully boys and act like Hitler's stormtroopers in the 1930s.
Absolutely.
Go and have a look at history to see how it is. So unless we take action legally and these guys are accountable for their actions, then we're going to continue to have the bullshit that we had this morning.
So, of course, if anyone that's got footage or has a complaint that they want to join in, Mark, obviously you're one of the people that can be contacted, or
Yes,
Phil, or even Karen.
Yeah, look, what we're going to do after the GG is we're going to get all together and we're going to go through the process. We have literally hundreds of illegal actions by police over the last 3 months. Hundreds.
Oh, absolutely.
And we've got it on multiple film, and we have multiple victims of police overreach. Well, police overreach is a polite way of saying police acting illegally.
Oh,
you know,
or police brutality.
Or police, well, that's acting illegally as well.
Yep.
You know, so what we're going to do is we're a peaceful protest. We're acting within the law. I wish the police would tell us what law they're operating under and what their jurisdiction is, so we can actually keep the law. But they seem to make that a very grey area.
Yeah.
Don't want to bore us with the details, apparently.
Oh, it's fluid. It's a fluid situation as far as they're concerned. It goes from whichever point that they want, they just tip, and it flows that way.
Yeah, apparently last night the same thing happened. Someone was, a number of people issued, and they rang the ACT police and asked them about it, because these were the protection people from up at the parliamentary zone.
Yep.
And the police said as long as your car was legally parked, there's no reason for them to give you a move-on order.
No, that's right. But when we rolled in this morning, we actually saw police rolling around car parks, checking out people that were sitting in their cars.
Do you know that in the ACT it's actually legal, not illegal, legal to sleep in your car? Okay?
Yeah, I've seen that that information.
And police
that
do
document.
have it. Police can wake you up, but the only reason they have to wake you up is to offer you accommodation somewhere.
Oh, okay.
So when a police officer wakes you up, ask them the question: where's the accommodation you've arranged for me, seeing I'm sleeping in my car?
That's a very good one.
Yeah, because
like
that's
that.
if you have a look at the ACT released these beautiful information sheets about sleeping in your car.
Yep.
There's all this information there, and that's what they say. The police have an obligation to actually help us find accommodation.
Okay, so if they want you to move, they need to find accommodation.
They can't move you on out of a car park.
Yep.
If you're in a car park, sleeping in your car, that's actually legal. I know they like to quote the Trespass Act. Sorry, not the Act, Trespass Ordinance,
Yep.
which is only NCA controlled land. Trespass Act does not have camping as a trespass. But under that Act, you actually have to be camping.
Yep.
Camping is not sleeping in your car. Sleeping in your car is a normal, acceptable, legal thing you can do. Why? Because if you are tired and you drive, you're a danger to other people on the road.
That's right.
So you need to be able to rest. And so that's why they have the law in place.
Exactly. No,
You know,
a good reason for it too.
Absolutely good reason for it. So I'm talking to the AFP. You guys need to start to lift your game, because you're not going, just because your body that's supposed to be policing you refuse to do their job, doesn't mean that you're going to get off scot-free. We've got you on film breaking the law. We're going to take it to the courts, and we're going to charge you with criminal actions.
Excellent. Excellent.
Wait for the warrants.
No worries. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we'll end it there. So that was Mark, and he's part of the GG's everyday protest, and they will be proceeding with legal action against the police for unlawful activity. So that's really good news. So anyone that can help out with their own complaints, video, and any information that you have, Mark and Phil, or even Karen from the GG's everyday protest, they're the ones to get into contact with on that matter. Okay, so I'll sign off now. Tony Ant, live in Canberra. Thank you.